Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Muito boa tarde. Welcome to all of you who are here joining us from various parts as we are here, of course, in California. It is still summer and it is still sunny, and it is, although albeit in Central California, a bit cooler than it normally is at this time of the year, which we welcome that wonderful weather. On behalf of the Portuguese Beyond Borders Institute, that's PBBI from California State University, Fresno, welcome to each and every one of you. It is our fall time. Our spring semester ended around the 12th of May, as all of you know. We did have two more events at the end of May, and we actually had a couple of events in June and July here through PBBI. But our full force begins now with our fall semester of 2023. Before I share with you the two platforms that we have been promoting on a daily basis, but would like to take some time as we begin a new semester. We're delighted that our classes are full. Our language class is full capacity, no more chairs available. So we cannot, even though there is a waiting list of about 4 or 5 students, we cannot offer any more because of the size of the classroom. So we can't put any more chairs in there. The fire marshal won't allow us, and neither is it safe, obviously, for the students and for all of us. And so, and our that's our Portuguese 1A, part of the modern and classical languages and literatures at Fresno State Department, part of the College of Arts and Humanities, and that PBBI, of course, is part of. As all of you know, the Portuguese Beyond Borders Institute from California State University, Fresno is part of the entire university, but we work very closely with three different departments, or I should say, three different colleges. And many of these colleges, of course, have different departments, including the languages department, that is the College of Arts and Humanities. We work very closely, obviously, with the College of Arts and Humanities. We work also very closely with the College of Social Science, our oral history project, another project as well. And we work also very closely with the Jordan College of Agricultural Science and Technology, including participating as active as we can in that wonderful exchange program that happens every month in July between the University of the Azores and California State University, Fresno. This year, again, 8 students, 4 from Fresno State and 4 from the University of the Azores, were able to take advantage of this opportunity. And our Azores class is also, our Azores Cultural Literature class is also in full swing, and we actually have exceeded the number. We have 33 students in there, and so it's wonderful to see basically very, very close to 60 students taking Portuguese at Fresno State in just 2 classes. There will be other classes available as well, so hopefully we'll be able to continue this program. And right now we have, I believe, 3 students in our minor, and that is excellent news as well, as we try to build up that minor in Portuguese as well. What I'm going to talk to you today is about our platforms, and I'm going to share the screen with you. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I think you are able to. And so first thing I'd like to share with you is, of course, our Novidades, the islands and the diaspora. So this is a platform that through PBBI, the Portuguese Beyond Borders Institute at California State University, Fresno, we actually put forth last year. So we are commemorating 1 year. It actually began in July, the end of July of 2023. And so in 1 year, we have had actually over 500 publications. Many days we have more than one, and some days we just have one. But this is what Novidades is all about. It's a free service, free provided to our students, of course, first and foremost, to our faculty and staff, but it's online. It's available to anyone. Just Google Novidades and it'll take you to novidadesnewsletter.news. And we are very, very thankful to the many partners that we have in the Azores, the newspapers that I collaborate with, and others that I do not collaborate with, but are also collaborating with us in allowing us to translate the news, some of the news, and bringing it to the Azorian American community, not only the Azorian American community of students, which is a large one at Fresno State, and faculty and staff, but also to anyone in the Lusosphere that is of Azorean ancestry, Azorean and Madeidan. We also have news from Madeira. And we, of course, concentrate on this because of the heavy Azoreanness and Madeira here in California, but also throughout the United States, Canada, and other parts of the world. If you're interested in the Azores, basically, whether you're of Azorean ancestry or not, and you would like to know what's going on, we don't do just political news and very little political news, and we don't do any political partisan news. That is for sure. We're very independent in that aspect. And so, what you are able to see is, for example, in today we feature a story from the newspaper Atlântico Expresso, translated to English by the Modern and Classical Languages and Literature Department at Fresno State. Where our Portuguese minor and our Portuguese classes are housed. And it's about Santa Maria Island in the Azores as the sentinel of Europe, as it continues to have its place in aeronautics and an essential role in space flight. So you'll click on the news item or the title, and it'll be able to tell you here is Jorge Arruda, who is the ex-director of the airport. He's actually promoting a book that he is publishing. They'll be out on September 3rd. And it's a news story about basically the airport and the island of Santa Maria and its relationship with the world. You'll see the news piece here in English, some historic photos. Is this one of Jorge Arruda in Ponta Delgada, not in Santa Maria, but in Ponta Delgada, welcoming the Pope John Paul II when he visited the Azores. And it, of course, has the name of the journalist. In this case, it was our good friend Nélia Câmara, journalist for Correio dos Açores and Atlântico Expresso, did this piece. And these two newspapers are directed by Natalino Viveiros. We also have, of course, the acknowledgement of the translation. And we have in most of the stories, we have Luso American Financial as one of our partners. We're hoping to get other partners as well. We're open to other financial institutions and other businesses in the Portuguese American world that will be partners with us. We'd love to have you. And Luso Financial here because they are the partners on this story, and we thank them immensely for stepping up and being our first partner, and one that we hope to have with many other institutions in order to build up what we're trying to do here. So every day, the 24th, which is if you go back, actually, we go back a few times. And if you go back on the 25th, we had another story about a dairy farmer in San Miguel. Wonderful story, human interest story about regenerative agriculture and talking about the environmental issues and the agriculture that is sustainable and animal health. Wonderful piece. Again, this one done also by the Correio dos Açores. And then you have one that was done here by us locally, the Portuguese Philharmonic Band and their anniversary. We published their program. We'll be more than happy to publish the Festas program as long as you get a hold of us. We'll be more than happy to publish it here as well. On the 24th, we also had a story about more fruit being grown in the Azores, grown the percentage of areas by 23% in the last 9 years. Some reviews that are being done in the educational system in the Azores was also on the 24th. And we have this one piece, and I'll click on it just for you to look. First of all, the pictures are stunning, aren't they? From our good friend Aníbal Pires, who who is a writer, a poet, a political activist, and he writes some op-ed pieces, and we once in a while have a piece from him here as well with some of his photos. These are his actual photos of different parts of the Azores. And there's Aníbal, our very good friend, and this one was published in Diário Insular on August the 21st. And as I put here, Novidades will feature occasionally opinion pieces from various leading thinkers and writers from the Azores to give the diaspora and those interested in the current Azores a sense of the major opinions on some of the archipelago's issues. So we have them from all different political spectrums, all different people who publish in the newspapers, and we don't have a lot of opinion pieces, but we try to put forth at least one or two per week, at least one per week, to kind of give you a sense. And they're titled there. It says right on their opinion. Okay. The others, of course, are titled on there as well. They're all our Azores connection, Ligação aos Açores. This one on education, information, and review and news. And so we have other pieces, Chinese boats in the Azores were nothing more than a false alarm. This was in the Diário Insular. Air bases outside of the U.S., including Lajes and Terceira Azores, are not free from attacks in the Diário Insular newspaper. And I could go on and on and on, but I would bore you even more than I already have. And so you can check this. It's called Novidades, the islands and the diaspora. And every single day we have at least one story. We have missed a day here or there because of other commitments, but most of the days we have one story. And in some days, if you look back here, for example, on August the 22nd, we had two stories. On August the 21st, we had actually a few more. We had three stories. August the 20th, we had one, two stories. August the 19th, we had one, two stories as well. And so if you look at on there, many of the days we have at least one, and some days we have two. We have done in the 1 year that we've been in existence over 510 stories. Okay. And so obviously 365 days in a year. So it's a bit more than one per day, even though some days there aren't stories that we feel are important. Every day there's something happening in Azores that's important, but sometimes we have other commitments as well. And we try to get you stories of human interest, stories that will connect you to the islands, stories that will go beyond the everyday ephemeral festa, but also talk about the people's lives, their aspiration, the history of the Azores, such as this one, about the history of Santa Maria Island as a connection to the outside world for many, many, many years. A little bit about the community as well, some op-ed pieces. So all of them labeled here, and all of them, of course, at your disposal, free of charge. You can even, once you're on there and you look at a news item at the bottom, there's a place that you can subscribe for free. What that does, the subscription, is that every time a news a piece is put out, you'll get an email directly from the site saying there's a new piece. This is the title. It might be a title that interests you. If it is, you can click on it and go to it. We also, of course, use it heavily to promote the Novidades, the islands and the diaspora in the throughout our social media outlets. But if you don't do social media, if you don't do Facebook or Instagram or any of the other platforms that we use, that's okay. You can just go to novidadesnewsletter.news. You can just put Novidades newsletter or just Novidades on Novidades Fresno State or Novidades PBBI, and it will take you on Google that, and it'll take you to the site. And the site is free of charge. You can consult anything. You can go back a few days, as I'm going back here to August 20th when we had an update from the lasting and very worrisome fire in Madeira Island. You can go back a few days before that. We also have a weekly segment done by Fadista Marissa Silva Rocha from her series Ama Conversa, which is a wonderful podcast that she does. Invite you to tune in. And of course, you can, it's a weekly segment, usually done on Fridays. And so you can click on that and you can go to that and see some of what she has sent to us for us to post as a weekly segment that is created and done by Marissa Silva Rocha, who is a fadista, well-known singer and community activist here in our Portuguese American community. And her podcast is called Ama Conversa, which comes from the word Amália Rodrigues. She actually, or from the singer Amália Rodrigues, she explained that in one of her first posts. If there are any folks in the community that also do regular posts on regular events and would like to share them through PBBI, if you feel they have a place for us here, and if we feel that there's a place for you here as well, we'd be more than happy to share them and to have you also do a weekly segment or an every other week segment. We're open to that, especially our students will be doing a lot more oral histories. So we'll be publishing quite a few oral histories in the next few weeks, starting about September 15th, probably one per week on the different oral histories that we have. We'll actually be doing a very small segment on the Portuguese Oral History Project at Fresno State to give you an update on that as well here in the next few weeks as we begin our work for the fall semester of 2023. The other site is this one right here, and it is called Filamentos, Artes e Letras, or Arts and Letters in the Azorean Diaspora. This one is bilingual. So most of the things are in English, but there are a few in Portuguese as well. So we have posts in English. I would say about 70% are in English, 70 to 75%. and about 25 to 30% are in Portuguese. Novidades, if I may go back to that and bore you a little bit more, Novidades is totally in English. So we take a news item and we translate it from the Portuguese, from an Azorian or a Madeiran newspaper, and we put it in English, or we take activities from the community, those who wish to publish through us, and we'll be more than happy to put them there, and also in English. So we're all in English. The idea is to reach second, third, fourth, fifth generations who no longer speak the Portuguese language, unfortunately, but it happens. There are many of us and many in the Portuguese community who have grandchildren who no longer speak Portuguese. There are many of those whose grandparents and great-grandparents were the ones that immigrated, and already their parents didn't speak Portuguese. So there are more of the 350,000, according to the U.S. Census, or a little bit under now, that are in the citizens of California who are of Portuguese ancestry. According to the same report, only less than 30,000 said that they spoke Portuguese at home. So that means that about very close to 90% of those no longer speak Portuguese at home. They may speak a bit of Portuguese. A lot of them don't, and a lot of them do, but do not read in Portuguese. And so this is basically to bring in the second, third, fourth, fifth generations who do not speak or read in Portuguese, or who may speak but don't read it, and to those who aren't of Azorian ancestry but are interested in the Azores and don't speak Portuguese. Filamentos is a digital platform, all as well as Novidades, about arts and letters, as the name says it all, and in the Azorian diaspora. And as you can see, we also, the same thing, we try to have a story just about every day. There are some days that we don't. With Filamentos, we're not as rigorous on that because it's just what comes up that is interesting for our community and has to do with our work at Fresno State as well. But we do have a few weekly segments that I'd like to call your attention to. One of them is called Carnations of Freedom. So every week we have a story about the 25 de Abril, the Carnation Revolution, that this year we commemorate, as all of you know, the 50th anniversary of the 25 de Abril. So that is a weekly segment that we try to make it every week. We've missed 1 or 2 weeks because of other professional or obligations or being out of town, but we try to keep it up on a weekly basis. Journey of Words is also dedicated to Natalia Correia, who are still commemorating her 100th, almost 101st birthday, but it is taking one of Natalia's works, translating it into English and putting it here as part of our Cátedra Natalia Correia, which is dedicated to literature, culture, research, and publications, all about Natalia Correia. We have another weekly segment with Camões, 500 years, 2425 is the 500th anniversary of his birthday, and we take one poem that has been translated to English, or a bit about Camões has been done in English, and we put it here, this one with quite a bit of explanation, and one of the longest ones that we've published, one of his most well-known, from the Lusíadas. And so every single week we will have something about Camões 500 years. We also have collaboration from our friend José Andrade, who is the regional director for the Azorian communities, and who has written a book. He's written many books, but one of them is called Transatlântico, As Migrações nos Açores, the migration in the Azores. This book was published in 2023. He's been kind enough to give us or allow us to take, it's a book of different chronicles about the Azores, and to take one of them and to translate it and publish it. So it's called The 10th Island, an ongoing series by José Andrade. And this one here, for example, was dedicated to the Casas dos Açores, or Houses of the Azores, in Brazil. And so that is also an ongoing segment that we have. The others are things that come out at different publications, different newspapers, also from arts and folks who are involved with the arts in the Azores and Madeira, book publishers, from also from different art promoters, etc. And we have, as I said, some segments in Portuguese. One of them that we ran on a weekly basis. It's called Cem Anos, Aos 100 Anos, por Jorge Betancourt. Commander Jorge Betancourt was here in California during April to commemorate the 50th birthday of the Carnation Revolution, or the 50th anniversary. He has written about his dad would have been 100, would he be alive, and he writes these wonderful memories about his father. His daughters have as well. So well written in Portuguese. And we do get folks who get a hold of us who say, I would like some things in Portuguese as well. So that's why we try to do about 70% in English and about 30% or so in Portuguese. This is also an ongoing segment put forth about every 9 to 10 days, aos 100 anos por Jorge Betancourt. So lots of different things. Hopefully you'll enjoy them. Some obviously more than others. Some will mean something to you, some will not. And along with this, we have, of course, in Filamentos, we have, as you can see there, our dear friend Anthony Barcelos, the 10th edition of Filamentos, a digital publication. So besides this platform, we do publish a literary and cultural magazine 5 times a year. This is our 10th one, and we began last year, and we began in February of 2023. And it is available online through various platforms. It's also available through PDFs. A person can just connect with it on PDF, as you can see, or you can. We also use another service, and you can click on it, and it'll take you, of course, to that. It might not allow me here because I'm sharing the screen, but actually it does. And so you can go ahead and see that. And here you will not be able to read it. As you see, it's pretty darn small here, but you'll be able to upload it. This one was dedicated entirely, 40 pages, dedicated entirely to Anthony Barcelos, who unfortunately passed away in June of this year. So, Filamentos, Artes e Letras, or Arts and Letters in the Azorian Diaspora, is the name of this series. And this platform that, as I said, some days, as you can see there, some days we've had 2 publications, some days we've only had 1, a few days we have not, but we normally have anywhere between 5 to 7 publications, because some days we have 5 to 7 publications per week. And again, with this one, we have published over 400 essays, articles, and information pieces, creative pieces, over 400 in the last year as well. So, Filamentos, Artes e Letras, quite easy. That was just put Filamentos, Artes e Letras.art, and the other one, Novidades, the Islands, and the Diaspora. These are all part of our ongoing effort at California State University, Fresno, through the Portuguese Beyond Borders Institute, to have information and resources available to our students, our faculty and staff, about the Azores, about Madeira, about mainland Portugal as well. But we focus very heavy on, this is part of our Azorian connection at Fresno State. And so we focus very heavy on the islands, the Azores and Madeira. And also, it is also a way to connect with the community, and especially those in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th generation who have told us continuously that they'd like to know more on an ongoing basis about what life is about, and things that are going on in the Azores, and a little bit more connection with arts and cultures. So thank you all for joining me this afternoon as we have kicked off all of our events for PBBI at Fresno State. We have, as I said, an amalgam of events coming up this semester. We have 12 different events, so lots of them between now and December. I believe the last one will be around December the 12th. So between now and December the 12th, we have 12 different events, most of them online, but we will have 3 in-person events at the university as well, and the other 9 online, including we will be hosting the Luso American Education Foundation Conference, but we'll be doing a separate little bit, small piece, I should say, on that in the next 10 days or so. On behalf of PBBI, the Portuguese Beyond Borders Institute at California State University, Fresno, thank you all for joining us on this afternoon, this summer afternoon, and continue to explore and to use Filamentos, Artes e Letras, and Novidades, the Islands and the Diaspora, and all the other projects projects and products that we have for our students, for our faculty, for our staff, and for our community, because most of the things that we do, even the ones that are done in person, we try to record most of them, and we try to then put them forth through our Fresno State YouTube channel. We'll be talking about that at a later time as well. On behalf of PBI Fresno State, once again, thank you all very much. Have a wonderful afternoon. Muito boa tarde. Até sempre. Um abraço.